press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello children, we are in coordination chemistry. So we have finished it in our previous discussion, the stability constant and the factors affecting the stability of a coordination compound. We talked about kinetic and thermodynamic stability, and we talked about stability and instability constant relationship between the two. Clear? We'll start some important questions with respect to these discussions that we have done so far. So we have question 1 here. First of all, I'd like to solve some textbook questions which are mentioned in our textbooks itself. So we have done many questions out of it. We have solved many problems with respect to that as well. So some textbook questions which are mentioned out to you children are, we will just have a look on those thoroughly and we will move forward. Okay. So question is, using VBT approach, so we have to use VBT approach, valence bond theory approach, and prove it that Y NiCN4 2 minus is square planar, while as NiCl4 2 minus is tetrahedral. This is a textbook question mentioned to you. And if you have been clear out with the discussion that we have done so far, this thing should be quite simple for you. When you look on NiCN4 and if it is square planar, then naturally means hybridization has to be dsp2. And if NiCl4 is tetrahedral, hybridization has to be sp3. That's a basic rule. And we know dsp2 hybridization comes into play when in a complex or when a complex is made by strong ligand system, because pairing will be forced. Let us see here. We have to use VBT approach. So according to that, we have nickel, atomic number is 28. So outermost electronic configuration will be 3d8 4s2, right? And when it is nickel 2 plus in the complex, it will be 3d8. We will use valence bond theory. So using that VBT approach, so we are using VBT approach to solve it. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 3D. Then this is 4s. Then 1, 2, 3. This is 4p. Correct or not? Now the number of electrons in D, how many are there? 8 electrons. So I'll give it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is VBT approach. No T2G EG set like crystal field theory approach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 8, 6, 7, 8. So number of unpaired electrons are 2. Cn which is coming, you already know the answer why it is happening. Because children, these orbitals are dx square, y square and dz square, right? According to crystal field theory. So electron will go in dz square rather than dx square, y square. So pairing will occur. But that's not answered by VBT. Generally, Cn is a strong field ligand. So it will force pairing or not? Yes. So when you look on nickel in a complex that is Cn4 2 minus, then what will happen here is, this is 4s, these are 4p. So again this is 3d, this is 4s and these are 4p. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These two electrons will pair up in one of the d orbitals. Now how many ligands are coming for bond formation? 4. According to hybridization and according to VBT theory, how many hybridizer orbitals should be provided? 4. So how can you provide 4 hybridizer orbitals? 1d, 1s and 2p will combine, result in the formation of 4 dsp2 hybridizer orbitals. And for that we know those 4 dsp2 hybridizer orbitals will be oriented in square planar direction around metal atom. Which one? Nickel. And bonds will be made with it. This is the reason why NiCN4 is square planar. So what's the reason? The reason is that in presence of Cn, there is pairing of electrons happening. So one of the d orbitals gets free and that d orbital combines with 1s and 2p, result in the formation of 4 dsp2 hybridizer orbitals, and the shape of the molecule becomes square planar. Clear? Now if it is NiCl4, why is NiCl4 tetrahedral? Chlorine is a weak ligand, right? So what will happen is, this will remain as such. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4s, 4p. So this is 3d, this is 4s, and this is 4p. How many electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There will be 2 electrons as such. Magnetic moment of this complex will be root of n into n plus 2. That will be 0 because there is no unpaired electron. In this, chlorine is a weak field ligand, so pairing will be forced or not? No. Magnetic moment according to experimentation comes equal to what? Root 8, proving there are 2 unpaired electrons. So no pairing has occurred. Because there is no pairing in presence of Cl, because it's a weak ligand, so what happens? Hybridization will be, the outer 4 orbitals will be used, which is 4sp3 hybridized orbitals when 1s combined with 3p, because we know the total number of hybridized orbitals made is equal to the total number of atomic orbitals combined. So there are 4 hybridized orbitals, and how will those orbitals be around nickel? In NiCl4, they will be oriented especially in tetrahedral position, and ligand will be able to donate electrons to those hybridized orbitals. As a result of that, the shape of the molecule in the present vertex will be tetrahedral. Clear? Answer done? Yes. Let us see next question. Children, next question asking is to you is, NiCl4 2 minus, question asked, it's a textbook question 2, which is NiCl4 2 minus is paramagnetic. So this is question number 2. While as NiCO4 is diamagnetic. So we know paramagnetic and diamagnetic substances. Unpaired electrons, it is paramagnetic. Diamagnetic will be repelled by the magnetic field, so no unpaired electrons. NiCl4 2 minus, we know a while earlier we solved. NiCl4 we solved a while earlier. Where? This one, NiCl4. There were 2 unpaired electrons, so it is paramagnetic, no doubt. Magnetic moment will be root 8 in this case. Now when I look on NiCO4, CO, is it a strong field or weak field again? Strong field. So what happens? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you got 4s, then you got 4p. So this is 3d, this is 4s, this is 4p. Nickel under 0 oxidation state. So 3d8, 4s2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And S has how many electrons? 2. It's a strong field or weak field again? Strong field. So pairing will be forced or not? So these electrons both will be found in one orbital only. So 1d get is free. Yes. Then the electrons from S, because energy difference between 3d and 4s will be less. It is which field? Tetrahedral. We know crystal field splitting energy is extremely less. It is 4 by 9 top octahedral field, right? We have learnt it, right children? Okay, so electron from S will shift into D. So as electron shifts into D, the hybridization of NiCO4 will be what? It will be sp3 hybridization. And here NiCl4 is also sp3. Although both are sp3, then why is NiCl4, which is in a weak field system, chlorine weak field, it is paramagnetic? We can understand that because there are 2 unpaired electrons. But in CO, there are no unpaired electrons because pairing has been forced here. Once pairing comes into play, no unpaired electrons, thus it will be diamagnetic. But keep it in mind, both are sp3 hybridizers. So I made it sure in my previous classes that having the hybridization of dsp2 is not a sure sign of unpaired electrons, and also having the hybridization of sp3 does not also mean that there are unpaired electrons in a system. So it also depends upon the electronic configuration of central metal atom. That's why we mentioned crystal field splitting energy is dependent upon the nature of ligand, the nature of central metal atom. Yes or no? What is the nature of ligand? What is the nature of central metal atom? And we know the charges on central metal atom. That's oxidation state of central metal atom. We have already discussed the fact. Is it clear? It should be very easy for every one of you to analyze the results. Right, children? Right. Let us see the other one, children. Are you understanding the things? Very good. Let's do one. We have done so many cases now. I don't think we need to solve more and more cases with this approach itself. because already so many examples and so many extensive parts of this discussion has been done. We have a complex CO NH3 6 times, CO NH3 6 times 3 plus, and we have Ni NH3 6 times 2 plus. According to the question which they are asking us, why is this? Why is this inner field and this one is outer field? This is outer field complex and this is inner field complex. We will have a look onto this discussion. Yes. So to find out why inner field, why outer field, we need to find out whether the orbital being used is n minus 1d or it is what is used is nd. If it is n minus 1d, this will be inner field complex. If it is nd, it will be outer field. Now here we have a normality which is that central metal atom is different, ligands are same. Because central metal atom is different, we need to look on the oxidation states. Let's have a look on cobalt. We will use VBT approach only. So you can use, for your understanding, you can use crystal field theory approach as well. So cobalt's atomic number. Tell me the cobalt atomic number. So cobalt atomic number is 27. It is 3d7 4s2, right? So I'll mention it out. So when it is cobalt 3 plus, it has lost how many electrons? 3. So it will be 3d6. Let us do it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then there is 4s. Then there is 4p. Then there is 3d. Correct? So this is which one? This is 3d. Then this one is 4s. Then this one is 4p. Then this one is 4d. So this one will be n minus 1d, because what is n value? 4. And this one will be nd. This is also np. This is ns. This one will be n minus 1. What is n? N means, what does n mean here? N means highest principal quantum number. So highest principal quantum number in the present pretext we have is 4 here, children. Clear? Very good. So it is n minus 1d, ns, np, nd. Now looking on the electronic configuration of cobalt, it is 3d6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Ammonia is a strong field ligand, so it will force pairing. Once pairing will occur, all these 6 electrons will be found in these 3 orbitals, no unpaired electron, magnetic moment will be 0, and these 2 will get free. So these 2 orbitals from D, that is n minus 1d, are used. So these 2 from D, 1 from S and 3 from P will lead to the development of how many? These D2 sp3 hybridized orbitals. How many will be made? 6. Thus pairing has been forced, thus it's an inner field complex. Is it clear or not? Very good. Now if I look on nickel NH3, we will do the same case. Nickel atomic number is 28. We'll write down nickel 2 plus, right? So directly, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 4s, 4p, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is n minus 1d, this is ns, this is np, this is nd. How many electrons in nickel? 28. After losing 2, it will be 3d8, 4s2. It has lost how many? 2 electrons. How many in d? 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many are coming for bond formation? 6. So will you pair it up here? No. Why? Because these 2 orbitals you have seen in crystal field theory, they don't pair up, and in VBT theory through magnetic moment we find out magnetic moment is √8, indicating that there are 2 unpaired electrons. But in crystal field theory you learnt it that this is EG set. This is EG set, and in EG set in octahedral complexes pairing will not occur. correct or not? Because this set will be of same energy, no pairing is forced here at all. Then it will make use of Nd orbitals, so it will make use of sp and 2 from d. So hybridization will be what? sp3 d2 hybridization. So it has made use of what? Nd orbital. This has made use of n-1 d orbital. That's why this CONH363 plus is inner field and this is outer field, although the ligand is present or same. So children, central metal atom, nature of central metal atom is also a deciding factor for determining whether inner field complex or outer field complex will come into play. When I say nature of central metal atom, we mean to say the oxidation state of central metal atom and other parameters. Am I clear? Is this clear? Similar way, you can have a look on the textbook questions which are quite easy to solve. Few already we have solved. Like last time I gave one example of MnBr4 3 minus Y, MnBr4 2 minus. Why is that complex? Tetrahedral. We have discussed the case in our last discussion. Yes? Very good. So now we are moving into some very typical problems. These are just textbook problems, which few of those which I have solved, 3-4 I have solved. So you can have a look onto those. They are quite easy and can be easily done. Right. Okay, sir. Start some important questions. We have a complex Cr H2O 6 times. Write down, children. We have a complex Cr H2O 6 times 3 plus 3 plus. Why is it clear? Good. If mean pairing energy is given 23500 centimeter inverse. Calculate pairing energy in high spin and low spin states. Very important questions I am going to discuss now. Question is, complex is CrH2O6 3 plus. So technically, when mean pairing energy is given, we are using crystal field theory approach. Mean pairing energy in terms of wave number is given 23500 centimeter inverse. Calculate pairing energy in high spin and low spin states. You have to calculate pairing energy in high spin and low spin states. Am I clear or not? Right. Let's have a look now. Very simple discussion is, when it is chromium and oxidation state of chromium is 3 plus, actual electronic configuration of chromium is 3d5 4s1, but in a complex chromium 3 plus will be 3d3. Correct or not? It will be 3d3. Lost 1 from S and 2 from D. Yes or no? Good. Now according to this, when it is in low spin state, means all the electrons will be paired. We will have T2G set and we'll got EG set. So this is T2G set and this is EG set. There are total how many electrons in chromium here? There are only 3 electrons, and we have learnt it in our discussions that when till the time there is D3 configuration, D1, D2, D3, it doesn't matter whether there is strong field or weak field, because anyway all the 3 electrons will go to which state? Which state? They will go to T2G state. Once they are going to T2G state, there is no electron in EG, we can calculate CFSE. So CFSE will be equal to what? Minus 0.4 into number of electrons in T2G plus 0.6 into number of electrons in EG plus pairing energies. Now that can be done out very easily. Minus 0.4 into Ng, number of electrons is 3. So 3 into minus 0.4 of delta 0 plus 0.6 into Eg, there is no electron in Eg, plus pairing energy in octahedral field. So that makes it 1.2 of minus 1.2 of delta 0 plus pairing energy in which field? Octahedral field. Now we have to calculate the mean pairing energy. For that we should have been given delta 0. When crystal field splitting energy is also given, you will be easily in a position to calculate what? The pairing energy. This one in low spin and high spin states. Am I clear? You will be able to calculate CFSE or not. So with the help of this, you will be in a position to calculate crystal field splitting energy for the complex. So CrH2O6 3 plus, if mean pairing energy is given to you, calculate pairing energy in high spin and low spin states. So crystal field splitting energy will be given to you, alright? It is crystal field stabilization energy. If crystal field splitting energy is given to you, you will be in a position to calculate pairing energy with ease. Am I clear? So this is the basic discussion that we are reaching. Write down the next question, children. Did you follow it or not? So what will be the mean pairing energies? So when the delta 0 value is given to you, crystal field splitting energy, or given or not. In the present case, what will be crystal field splitting? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what will be crystal field splitting, all right? Why? Because there is no D4 configuration. There is what configuration? D3. So whether there is strong field or weak field ligand, there will be no differences in the pairing energy systems at all. When CFSE is given, crystal field stabilization energy is given. When delta 0 is given, you will be easily in a position to calculate P naught. Am I clear here? Right. Next question. Write down the next question, children. Question is, for manganese 3 plus, pairing energy is given. How much is pairing energy given to you? It is 28,000 centimeter inverse. It is given to you. Delta 0 for Mn H2O6 3 plus is given. How much? 21,000 centimeter inverse. And delta 0 for Mn CN6 3 minus is also given as 38,500 centimeter inverse. Good. What's the question asking? These two. Number one, first question. Are these high spin or low spin complexes? This is first part of the question. Are these high spin or low spin complexes? And next question, what is electronic configurations? What is electronic configuration? These are the two questions which are asked with respect to this question. First of all, let us look on MnH2O6 3 plus. So, In MnH2O6 3 plus delta 0, manganese atomic number is 25. So electronic configuration of manganese will be 3d5 4s2. It has lost how many electrons? 3. 2 from S and 1 from D. So according to crystal field approach, there will be T2G set and there will be EG set. Similar way for the next complex, which one? MnCN6 3 minus. So if I look on MnCN6 3 minus, again it is plus 3 state, like this plus 3 state. So electronic configuration will be 3d5 4s2, lost 2 electrons. Actually it will be now 3d4. Here also it will be 3d4 for manganese 3 plus. This is T2G set, EG set. Here again you got T2G set, you got EG set. Total how many electrons are here? 4. So I'll give 1, 2, 3. We know when the fourth electron has to come into play, it has a chance. It can go to T2G set or EG set. Here also it can go to T2G set or EG set, fourth electron. So I'll mention 3 here also. Now when the fourth electron has to enter EG set, there's a condition that needs to be met. What is that condition? Fourth electron will go to EG set when crystal field splitting energy in octahedral field, that is delta 0, crystal field splitting energy, is less than pairing energy. So if crystal field splitting energy is less than pairing energy, fourth electron would not allow to pair up, because for pairing it will need more energy. It would like to go to EG set. Let us see for MnH2O6 3 plus. For MnH2O6 3 plus, we know for this Mn3 plus, because in both cases Mn is under plus 3 oxidation state, pairing energy is 2800 centimeter inverse. For manganese, crystal field splitting energy is 2100 centimeters only. So delta 0 of Mn3 plus when the ligand is water is less than pairing energy in that field. So for manganese, pairing energy is constant. I have told you that for a particular metal atom, what? The pairing energy will be always constant. So pairing energy is constant. So crystal field splitting energy in a weak field is less or more. It is less than pairing energy. Since it is less than pairing energy, electron would like to unpair. So it will go into this. So children, this delta 0 MnH2O6 will be a high spin complex. Correct or not? So this will be high spin complex because delta 0 is less than crystal field splitting energy in the present case is less than pairing energy. Fourth electron goes here. Second part of the question, electronic configuration will be T2G3 EG1. Can you calculate CFSE for it? Yes, you can even calculate CFSE. But here, look on CN case. Look on CN. What is crystal field splitting energy? 38,500 and pairing energy is less. So crystal field splitting energy is more than pairing energy. Then what will happen? Electron will pair up. So electronic configuration will be T2G4 EG0, right? This will be high spin or low spin? This will be low spin complex. Magnetic moment associated with 2 electrons is root 8 and magnetic moment associated with 4 electrons will be root 24. So with respect to this, you can calculate all these parameters. One more thing, if you want to calculate CFSE, then CFSE for water, means water as a ligand will be T2G3 EG1. So that will be minus 0.4 into 3 plus anything in EG, yes, 0.6 into 1 plus no concept of pairing will come into play. So that will be minus 1.2 of delta 0 plus 0.6 of delta 0. So that will make it minus 0.6 of delta 0. And remember, this delta 0 is crystal field splitting energy, right? And you can calculate that on the basis of the wave number which is given to you. How? E equals to hc into wave number. We know that very well. And if it is for 1 mole, it should be multiplied by Avogadro's number. So that is for water. The same CFSE for CN will be T2G4. So minus 1.6 of delta 0 plus 1 pairing energy. Want to calculate that? You want to calculate or not? You want to calculate it? You can do that. Because now, like in the first question, we were not given the parameters. Now we are given the parameters, right? So, CFSE for Mn H2O 6 times 3 plus will be equal to what? Minus 0.6 of delta 0. That is minus 0.6 into delta 0. What is delta 0 for H2O complex? It is 21000 centimeter inverse. So that will make it, solve for it, 0, 0, 0, 6, 1 will be 6, 6, 2 will be 12, so it will be 12600 centimeter inverse will be crystal field splitting energy for the first complex. Calculate or not? This is high spin or low spin? This is low spin or high spin? High spin complex. Magnetic moment root 24, right? What about CFSE for Mn? Cn6 3 minus, for that how much it has come? Value you tell me. Minus 1.6 of delta 0. Yes or no? So it will be minus 1.6 of delta 0. What is delta 0 for manganese? 38,500. So 38,500 centimeter inverse. Correct or not? Plus one pairing is there. Where is that? Here. So where? Here. Plus one pairing. So what is the pairing energy given? 2800 centimeter inverse. So 2800 centimeter inverse. So with the help of this, you should be able to solve this question very easily. So multiply the two values, you will get some value. Subtract from that 2800. This will be the answer of your question. Did you follow it? So question was simple. We were given pairing energy for manganese and crystal field splitting energy was given for both. We were asked first of all, high spin or low spin. Naturally, this is high spin and this is low spin. Directly you can also say water being a weak ligand, CN being a strong ligand, it will force pairing, so it will be low spin, this will be high spin. But I told you, never look on the ligands to find it out. You always need to go with the hybridization patterns, pairings and electronic configurations. So whenever you are solving these types of questions, don't trust your intuition by assuming that CN is a stronger ligand, because of that pairing will occur. No. By that you should first of all assess the electronic configurations. Because electronic configuration, suppose D3, in a strong field ligand also if there is D3, doesn't matter. Oh, correct or not? Because in D3 all the electrons will be going to T2G set. Did you find it out? So you can relate a while earlier which I showed you the question. CFSE calculation for calculating pairing energy, right? So if CFSE is given, delta 0 is given, crystal field stabilization energy is given, and delta 0, crystal field splitting energy is given. Keep it in mind. When I am calculating CFSE and then when I am writing delta 0, this is the amount of energy difference between the two sets, that is T2G EG set, and CFSE is by what amount of the total crystal field splitting energy the system is becoming stable by getting electrons in T2G set or unstabilize it by going in EG set. Am I clear with the thought? Excellent. Let's move to the next question. Analyze the result of this question, children, first. Hope it's clear to you. So you can relate this question with the earlier mentioned question also, right? Good. Done? Very good. Okay, children, one more question. We have a complex Cr H2O 6 times 2 plus. Okay. Delta 0 is given for it. And pairing energy in octahedral field is also given for it. Both the values are given. Complex is CrH2O6 2 plus. We have been given crystal field splitting energy is given, pairing energy is also given. How much is crystal field splitting energy given for it, children? It is 3,500 centimeter inverse. And pairing energy for this is given 13900 centimeter inverse. Our question is, calculate crystal field stabilization energy. So we have to calculate CFSE in first one, high spin state, and second one, low spin state. Very simple. We have been given delta 0, we have been given pairing energy in both cases, right? So for one complex only. Now if I say chromium is 3d54s1. It has lost 2 electrons because oxygen state of chromium is +2. So chromium 2 plus will be 3d, 1 from S, 1 from D, 3d4. Now, according to crystal field approach, it will be T2G set and then we'll get EG set. Then again T2G set and you will get EG set. If it is low spin, what is it? Low spin. In low spin state, total are 4 electrons. One of the electron will pair up. Yes. In high spin state, what will happen? So electronic configuration, this is T2G set. I'll mention it here only. These are T2G sets and these are EG sets. So in low spin state, there are 4 electrons in T2G set. In high spin state, there are 3 electrons in T2G set and 1 electron in EG set. Now, when I calculate CFSE here, so what will be CFSE for low spin state, children, equal to? Right? CFSE will be equal to what? 4 into 4 electrons into minus 0.4. Any electron in EG set? No. Plus 1 pairing in octahedral field. High spin state, what will be CFSE? 3 into minus 0.4 plus, because electron in T2G set stabilizes by the value of minus 0.4. Minus 0.4 energy lost out. Plus 1 into 0.6, and there is no pairing here at all. Now solving for it, 4, 4, 16, it will be minus 1.6 plus pairing energy in octahedral field, CFSE, in low spin or high spin, low spin state. And CFSE in high spin state will be 3 4s are 12, 6, it will be minus 0.6 of delta 0. Now let's have a look here. First one. So high spin state or low spin state, CFSE equals to what? Low spin state, minus 1.6 plus PO. So that will make it minus 1.6 of minus 1.6 of what? Delta 0. The formula is, what is the formula for CFSE calculation? Formula is minus 0.4 of delta 0 into number of electrons in T2G plus 0.6 into number of electrons in EG plus pairing energy is the formula for CFSE. When you are calculating CFSE, this is the formula. Minus 0.4 delta 0 into number of electrons T2G plus 0. So it will be minus 1.6 of delta 0. What is delta 0? 23500 centimeter inverse plus any pairing has occurred in low spin state here. One pairing is there in low spin state, right? So pairing energy will be plus 13900 centimeter inverse. Now this will be CFSE for low spin state. Solve for it and get the answer. I want everyone to solve the questions and read the answer. Everybody should put the answers forward in your comment section. Correct? make sure to put the answers there. I'll check it out. Then second one, under high spin state, we have already reached the conclusion 0.6 of delta 0. There is no pairing at all. So that will be minus 0.6 of delta 0. Delta 0 is 23500. So this is a very important thing here. Crystal field stabilization energy is not, the complex is not stabilized and unstabilized by T2G and EG set only, but pairing also adds to some stability. That's why pairing should be always added to it. The energy changes on the whole are happening in a crystal. So this on the whole can be said to be the latest enthalpy of a system as well, right? Latest enthalpy is the amount of enthalpy change, energy change that occurs in a system when 1 mole of that substance is formed. We are making 1 mole of the complex, and this will be the changes that will be happening in 1 mole of a complex respectively. I hope I am clear with the statement here, everyone. So you can follow these out and reach the answers. Did you get it? So a while earlier, 2 questions we discussed out, so those also should be quite easy for you to do. Have a look on this properly and understand it. Analyze it out, children. That first question we discussed with children, wherein I asked the mean pairing energy icing. Actually, it's not mean pairing energy. Question will be, what was the complex? I think Cr H2O 6 times 3 plus, right? In this, calculate mean or calculate pairing energy when delta 0 is 23500 centimeter inverse. Keep it in mind. You can change that question there. I think I have given calculate mean pairing energy. No, you need to find out what? Delta 0 is given. You have to find out pairing energy there, or you have to find out crystal field stabilization energy. Sorry, find out CFSE. Crystal field stabilization energy you have to find out in low spin and high spin states. Because for D3 configuration, low spin, high spin doesn't matter, it is D3 configuration. So calculate CFSE for that question when delta G is given. So what will be that value? It will be 3 electrons, 3 into minus 0.4 of delta 0, no pairing. So that will be 1.2 of delta 0. So that will be 1.2 of this value. That will be the answer of your question there. Clear with the statement? Right, excellent. Let's continue with a few more questions. Did you get it? That question number 1, calculate CFSE when delta 0 is given to you there. Cr H2O 6 3 plus. So keep that question in mind, children. Question number 4. Which of the following is tridentate ligand? Which of the following is tridentate ligand? Options are OX, option 2 is AN, option 3 is diene, option 4 is terpy. And option 5 is, leave option 5 aside. So keep it in mind. I'll write down more than one correct answer. Solve for your children. Question is, which of the following is a tridentate ligand? We have been given OX, EN, diin and terp. I have already discussed these parameters with you. Solve for it, children, quickly. Yes, quickly, children. Fast. Now, which of the following is a tridentate ligand? What does tridentate ligand mean? Tridentate ligand will donate from 3 places, right? 3 donor atoms. Let us look on OX. OX is oxalato group, and for oxalato we know it is C, O minus, double bond O, C, O minus, double bond O. Technically, we write this one also as COO twice. Charges 2 minus. Now it can donate from only these 2 oxygens, so there are only 2 donating. So this is didentate ligand. Then this is EN, ethylene diamine. We know it is carbon carbon. So technically H2H2. Then you have NH2. Then you have NH2. So it can donate from 2 nitrogen atoms itself, right? So it's again bidentate. Then there is diene. What is the short form we are using this diene for? It is diethylene triamine. And what's the structure for it? Diethylene means 2 carbon chains are there, and triamine, this is NH2. Then you got N here, then you have NH, then again you have NH2. This is our CH2, 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 CH2. Then it can donate from nitrogen, it can donate from nitrogen, it can donate from nitrogen. So there are 3 donor atoms. So this is tridentate ligand. It can lead to chelation, rather it can lead to macrocyclic effect because the donating atoms are from more than 2 places, and even it can lead to ligand position isomerism because donation can occur from nitrogen 1 and nitrogen 2 or nitrogen 1 and nitrogen 3. Correct? Yes or no? Fourth one is terp. Terp comes from tripyridine. Tripyridine, we have learnt, pyridine is a monodentate ligand, and if you do the addition reactions or addition of 3 pyridine groups, you will get terp. The structure of terp will be like this, children. It is nitrogen here, you have a ring because this is aromatic system. Again you have nitrogen here, one more hydrogen removed, you have nitrogen here. So you have 3 donating atoms. Remember, it can also bring macrocyclic effect, but due to the presence of the heavier side groups, due to the presence of the heavier group itself attached to it, to that donor atom, this will usually lead to steric hindrance. So this also but can donate from how many places? 3 places. So terp is a tridentate ligand. So correct option will be option 3 and option 4. So diene and terp, or terp, it is monodentate ligand is what? What's a monodentate ligand of this terp? Pyridine, that's called PYR. And then there is a dip, right? This is di-P. This is not mono-P. This is pyridine. This is di-P, and this one will be ter-P. So the correct option will be option 3 and option 4. Have a look on the diagrams carefully. Done, children? Very good. Let's move further forward. Is clear? Say we have a complex NH3, this is polynuclear, 4 times CO, Cl, NO2. We know these can act as bridging ligands. Then again CO, you have NH3 4 times, bracket closes, SO4 twice. Name this complex. You have 30 seconds. Name the complex. NH3 4 times CO, Cl, NO2. This is a bridging ligand system. And we know whenever we have a bridging ligand system, how does the name start? Name starts with the bridge. And in bridge, we have to follow alphabetical order. So this is chloro, this is nitro or nitrito because charge is minus here. So nitro N or nitrito. Yes. So what you can write down? Mu, what will be the name of the compound? It will be mu chloro, mu nitro or nitrito, mu chloro, mu nitrito. Then we have this whole coordination complex in one complex, right or not? Charge of SO4 is 2 minus. Total number of electrons needed by counter ion are how many? 4. Chlorine is oxidation state is -1, NO2 is also -1. Total electrons needed to be lost are 6. 3 will be lost by this cobalt and 3 will be lost by this cobalt. So how many times amine is there? 8 times. You can write the name in 2 ways. Mu chloro, mu nitro. Then this is existing how many times? Bis. This is 2 times, right? Bis. 2 times. Bis. Then each amine is existing how many times? 4 times. Bis means this on the whole this complex is twice. So bis, complex ligand system, right? So bis, tetra amine cobalt, tetraamine cobalt 3. Yes, and outside far from the bracket there will be sulfate. This will be the name of the complex. This is one on the whole complex, a cationic complex. Charge of the cationic complex will be what? Total electrons lost outside 4 plus. Total number of charges provided by will be 8. It will give you how many ions? 3 ions on dissociation. It will definitely give test for SO4 because SO4 is free. So if you treat this with barium chloride, barium sulfate will be precipitate out because this is a counter ion, right? So mu chloro, mu nitro or nitrito, bis, tetraamine cobalt 3 sulfate. There is one more way you can write down the name. If you just want to neglect this word bis, what will be that? Mu chloro and then mu nitro. Name will be same. Rather than writing bis, you can write octaamine dicobalt. Octaamine dicobalt because cobalt is how many times? Twice. Then cobalt's oxidation state is 3 and then name is as such. So the correct name will be these two. So bis when you are using means both of these ligand and central metal systems you have taken into consideration. So the correct name will be mu chloro mu nitro bis tetraamine cobalt 3 sulfate, or mu chloro mu nitro bis or octaamine dicobalt 3 sulfate. That will be the name of the complex. Am I clear? Have a look on this, children, and understand it well. Right? Excellent, very good. Good, let's look on the next question. Complex which is most stable. Complex which is most stable. So first one, K4 Fe CN6. Second one, K3 Fe CN6. Third one, Cr CN6, Cr CN6 3 minus, and fourth one, Cr Cl6 or Cr H2O6 3 plus. Complex which is most stable. When I say complex which is most stable, there are many ways I can talk about this now. I can say the complex with highest CFSE, crystal field stabilization energy. I can say the complex which is very inert, means which is not liable, which doesn't break off easily. I can talk about the complex with high beta value because stability constant is higher, formation constant is higher, stability is more, complex is very difficult to break. So I can talk about a strong field ligand coming into play and making the complex strong. But here is the problem. I can say the weakest of all is water because here crystal field splitting energy will not be much higher. But there are three systems which contain same types of ligands attached to central metal atom. Then when you want to find out, ligand doesn't help, metal atom doesn't help you at all. You want to find out most stable complex. Out of this, find out which out of the following has most stable EAN. So out of this, if you want to find out the most stable, find out which has got most stable EAN. What is EAN? Effective atomic number, or which follows effectively effective atomic number rule. So we need to find that which of the following is closest to the effective atomic number rule. We will do that. Let us see the first one, children, given. What is that? K4 Fe CN6. Oxidation state is 4 minus, iron will be under +2. So what is effective atomic number equal to? It's equal to Z minus oxidation state plus 2 into coordination number. So for this one it will be Z, atomic number of iron 26 minus oxidation state is 2 plus coordination number is 6. So 2 into 6, that will make it 12. So 26 minus 2 will be 24 plus 12. That makes it 36. It is perfect to that of krypton's electronic configuration. So this is perfectly stable because its electronic configuration is similar to that of krypton. Have a look on next one. It is K3. What was here? K4. If now, children, I have K3 Fe CN6 and charge of the complex will be 3 minus. This will be +3. That means oxidation state will go from -2 to -3. So then effective atomic number becomes 26 minus 3 plus 12 because coordination number for this is also 6. 26 minus 3 will make it 23 plus 12, that will make it 35. It is away by 1 electron to have the stable noble gas core, noble gas electronic configuration of krypton. So this will be less stable compared to the first one because first one is 36, this is 35. Let us see this one, chromium CN6 3 minus. Chromium +3, chromium is atomic number. So EAN will be chromium 24, lost how many? 3. So 24, 23, 22, Alright, so it will be 21. So effective atomic number Z minus oxidation state plus 2 into coordination number is again 6 here. Atomic number Z 24 minus oxidation state 3 plus 12. That makes it 24 minus 3 how much? 21 plus 12. That makes it only 33. Again far from the noble gas configuration. Let us look on chromium H2O6 3 plus. Again under plus 3 state. This also under plus 3 state. This also will be 33. This is 35. This one is 33. Now if you are asked to write down the stability order of this, this is 36, perfectly stable, followed by 35. But in 33 and 33 we have a competition. Here central metal atom is same in both cases, right? Right or not? Oxidation state of chromium here is plus 3. Here also it is plus 3. So oxidation state also will not help in calculating CFSE here. Even the number of electrons in T2G set in this case and in this case will be same because it is D3 configuration. Weak field, strong field doesn't matter here at all for us because configuration wise it will be same. Crystal field splitting energy wise, crystal field stabilization energy will be same. But remember that when the ligand system is in presence of CN, it's a stronger ligand, the splitting pattern will be higher. Yes or no? So if the effective atomic number of the two is same, then a system with a stronger ligand system will be more stable. So the order of stability will be 1 more than 2 more than 3 more than 4. And what will be order of effective atomic numbers for this? So order effective atomic number, I'll write it. Effective atomic number order will be 36 more than 35 more than 33 equal to 33. That is effective atomic number order. But what about stability order? That will mean 36 more stable than 35, more stable than 33, more stable than 33. Because this is under CN, this is under water because of ligand differences. These are extremely good things that you need to understand, children. So I have discussed about many alterations in coordination chemistry and many values in coordination chemistry. We'll continue on discussing the questions, children, with respect to this topic. And tomorrow, in terms of its discussions, we'll have one more discussion to start in our next class, which will be metal carbonyls, or we call it as the complexes in which there is minimum a single bond, which can be sigma or pi or both between the metal atom and carbon. Like you have Grignard's reagent, there will be that chemistry dealing with such compounds is organometallics. So we'll have one more branch of this coordination chemistry to discuss, that's called organometallic chemistry. So and we'll continue solving questions and more typical problems with respect to this, right or not? Because this is extremely important. Learning concept is one phase of this and applying those concepts in the real world is completely different. And I told you during the discussion earlier that first question what I had asked children, I had asked to calculate what? Pairing energy, but no, because pairing energy was given. You are asked to calculate what given to you is crystal field splitting energy delta 0, and you have to calculate CFSE, crystal field stabilization energy. Formulas are known, applications we need to learn. We'll solve more and more typical problems. Let it be we are solving 5 to 6 or 7 or 8 problems also in 1 hour. It will be enough for you to make your paces much quicker because these are to be understood at core level concepts. Clear? Yes. Thank you, children.